Hi everyone, this is strange. Hey everyone, so today's vlog is a little bit different. It's not going to be a normal vlog because my camera battery died and I'm a failure at vlogging because I didn't charge it. So my bad. So today I decided I wanted to talk about my trip to Europe and really debrief it a little bit because I haven't really had a chance. So first of all, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can click here in this general area, and I'm going to put a link to a playlist that I'm going to create with all of my vlogs from Europe. And it was a vlog series called Christoph Meets Europe. I was there 25 days, and I vlogged my trip, and I met all kinds of people, and I saw all kinds of things, and it was pretty sweet. In one of my vlogs, I debriefed part of my trip. I debriefed Europe, London specifically, but I never got a chance to debrief the rest of it, and so I thought I would share it with you guys on my debrief day today, so let's go! So the first stop after London was Paris. Whew. Let me tell you, Paris lived up to every one of my expectations. It was just beautiful. I can't even pinpoint a thing where that was like, this stood out to me. It was Paris just as a whole, as an environment, as a place, was wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it, and I loved being there, and I loved seeing everything. It was the romanticism of the city, I think, really, really actually lived, which was really cool. The Eiffel Tower, walking down the Champs-Élysées, the L'Arc de Triomphe, I went into the Louvre, and on top of that, I met some really cool people there, and I got to see a friend who I haven't seen in quite a long time, and I haven't seen her in 4 years, and she, by coincidence, happened to live down the street from my house, which made things amazing. So I got to see her during my trip. She showed me around Paris, so it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed Paris. It was really beautiful. So that's Paris. The next stop on my journey was Switzerland. Switzerland was really cool, and part of the reason was because I got to see family. And I have a cousin who lives in Switzerland with her family, and it was just nice to be able to, it was my halfway point in my trip, and I got to stay at her place for quite a while, quite a big chunk of it. I was in Switzerland almost 10 days. Actually, I was in Switzerland 10 days-ish, 11 days almost. And it was just nice. It was nice to have a little bit more of a relaxed time in the middle of my trip. Nice to be able to see her, because I hadn't seen her or her kids or her family in 6 years. So it was quite a while. So it was a nice little reunion that we got to have. And Switzerland is, let me tell you, it's the most picturesque place you will ever see. Whatever trip you decide to take is a pretty one. So I went on trains. I spent 4 days just like traveling around Switzerland to be able to explore. So she lives in Geneva, and I went a little bit everywhere else. It was just like, it was the most beautiful place you could see and you can imagine. And there's one place in particular, Interlaken, which is on the German side of Switzerland. And I woke up that morning, so I got there later in the evening, and I didn't really get to see it. And I woke up that morning, and I walked out of the hostel, and Interlaken is an intersection, basically. So it's the place where 3 mountains and 2 lakes meet, or it's 2 mountains and 3 lakes, I don't remember. A lot of mountains and a lot of lakes meet, and there's this like valley in the middle that's created, which is where the little town is. And so I woke up and I walked out, and it was just mountain, mountain, lake, lake, and it was gorgeous. And then I got to visit Gruyère, which is the town there. I think it's on the French side. No, it is in Switzerland. It's in Switzerland. And I got to visit the chocolate factory there, and I got to try lots of chocolate, and I bought lots of chocolate. So, you know, can't go wrong there. So that was sweet. See what I did there? See what I did there? Sweet. Sorry. So my trip continued on to Venice, and I spent all of 24 hours in Venice, but that's all you really need for Venice. It's Venice. What else can I say? Like Venice. Venice. I was in Venice. So I got there in the evening, went onto the island, took a boat from one end through the Grand Canal all the way to the other end, had dinner in San Marco Square, and then took a boat back. So I got to see like the sunset kind of as I was going down, which is really, really beautiful. And then the next day, I walked. So I got back there onto the island, and I dropped off my stuff at the train station, and I walked from one end all the way back to San Marco Square and all the way back. The neat thing about Venice is that a lot of Europe, most of Europe, what I really enjoyed was that it was this mixture of old and new that kind of came together. So London and Paris were really particular like that, in that there was a lot of old architecture and old buildings and old, but then the new came in, and it was this like nice blend that happened, and I really loved that, and I loved the old. But a neat little thing about Venice was that it was all old. There was no new in Venice. You would walk around these teeny weeny cobblestone streets. You can't even call them streets, they're like walkways, basically they're sidewalks. And you would go over bridges and around through the little lakes and not lakes, the little streams and whatever you want to call them. And all of the buildings were old. And so I felt like I was almost transported back however many years that was, which was really, really cool. And the last stop on my tour of Europe was Rome. Rome was a little bit disappointing. Now, hold on a second. I know some people are gonna jump down my throat right now for me saying that. Let me explain. I was warned going into Rome. I was warned about a few things. Number one, I was warned, the minute I told anybody I was going to Rome, immediately it was like, oh, are you gonna be safe? Make sure that you have everything on you. Be careful, people, pickpockets, blah, 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 blah. You need to just be careful and vigilant anywhere that you go when you're visiting another place. Just be careful. Have your passport on you and have it close to you, and keep things close to your body that are precious. And like, don't leave your bag wide open, and like, if you have a knapsack, put it like deep in the pocket that's closest to your back. I don't know, do things. There are things that you can do. Just be careful and be smart, and you'll be okay. I don't think it's fair to have like one city have this huge stigma that comes with it of like, Rome, oh, Rome is dangerous, Rome is pickpockets. Pickpockets are everywhere. Just be smart and be careful and you'll be fine. Side note rant. I was warned about Rome. Rome was gonna be dirty, and Rome was gonna be pickpockets and whatever. When I got there and I finally saw it for the first time, Rome was dirty. But it was dirty and it was noisy and it was loud and it wasn't organized and it was a little bit chaotic. And it reminded me of Cairo. Cairo is a dirty, noisy, loud place that I don't like being necessarily whenever I would go. So it just like was not pleasant to be there. All that being said, the Vatican was really, really cool and really spectacular to walk through the Vatican's museums and to see the paintings and to see the Sistine Chapel, which, side note, a little bit of a disappointment as well. Again, don't jump down my throat, please. The reason I say that is because to get to the Sistine Chapel, you have to walk through, I don't know, 15 or 20 rooms, all of them painted by Raphael and painted by, I don't know the name of the other painter, Da Vinci, I'm sure. Just like these huge painters that paint beautiful murals all over the walls and the ceilings and whatever of these 20 other rooms. So by the time you get to the Sistine Chapel, you're just desensitized a little bit. And I get there and I'm like, oh, okay, it's another painted room. That's what it becomes, which is unfortunate because it's really, really pretty. And it is different, but like, it just becomes another painted room. But the rest of the Vatican was beautiful. Walking into St. Paul's Basilica was amazing. Going to visit the Colosseum, going to visit ancient Rome, both of those were so cool. It's once you leave those touristic things that I just didn't enjoy the city. One of the things that I appreciated on this trip was I walked everywhere. I would just walk. And I would get lost in the city, and then I would find like a subway station or something and then make my way back to where I needed to go. Walking was a huge part of my trip, and I didn't enjoy walking in Rome. I didn't enjoy the things outside of the touristy, and I wanted to do the touristy because I wanted to see that, but I also knew that I wanted to just experience life, and that was part of my trip and part of my journey, and what I really wanted to do was to experience life in Europe and to see what that's all about, and I didn't enjoy life in Rome. And so that's part of the reason that it was a little bit of a disappointment to me. Again, don't jump down my throat, but I get why people love it, and I can see why people love it. It just wasn't for me. That's okay. We're allowed to have like a mutual disagreement. We can live in harmony. It's okay, all is well. So that's the end of my video, and that was my debrief of my trip to Europe. I would love to hear your thoughts and know what you guys thought. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, and if you've been to those places, what do you like about them? What do you not like about them? Where should I go next? Let me know in the comments below. That would be amazing. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, if you like my videos. Again, I know this video is a little bit different than normal, but I thought I would change it up a little bit. Also, my camera died. Again, my bad. But you know, it gives me an opportunity to try new things and to do new things and to hopefully entertain you in different ways. So, on that note, I bid you good day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Hi! How's it going? It's post you!
That was over and wrong.
He was the one who emptied our CO2 cylinder.
You emptied the CO2? It's your fault?
It's not my
It's
fault.
your fault?
It's not. It's his fault. No, it was his fault.
No, I'm not here.
Hi, Mom. I'm done. Can you pick me up, please?